Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we will be talking about Zakat al-Fitr and all the rulings regarding Zakat al-Fitr. First of all, what is Zakat al-Fitr? Zakat al-Fitr, as the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, طُهْرَةٌ لِلصَّائِمِ, and he said it's food for the poor. So it's a purification for the fasting person from all the things that he said during his fast that he should not have said. May Allah Azza wa Jal forgive us. And it is food for the poor. SubhanAllah, in Islam, taking into consideration these poor people at this time of celebration, they should not need to worry about food. That's why it's an obligation on every Muslim to pay Zakat al-Fitr, to feed these people on the day of Eid so that they do not worry about food. Now, this is what Zakat al-Fitr is. Now, what's the ruling on Zakat al-Fitr? It's an obligation. It is an obligation on every single Muslim, child or adult, male or female, for those who fasted or those who did not fast. So it's an obligation on every single one of them to pay or to pay Zakat al-Fitr. What should we pay? We'll be discussing this now. And what about the pregnant woman? They said that the pregnant woman, it is preferred for her to take into consideration that child, okay? So we should add 1 unit more for that pregnant woman, okay? Now, what about a person who became Muslim during Ramadan? Even if he became Muslim on the final day of Ramadan, scholars have said he should be paying Zakat al-Fitr. Now, what is Zakat al-Fitr? How do we pay Zakat al-Fitr? Zakat al-Fitr is paid in food form. It is paid in food only. It should not be paid with money. That is what the Sunnah is, and that is the opinion of the majority, and inshallah it is the best opinion. It should be paid as food. And how much should it be paid? Well, it's a sa' min ta'am. A sa' is a measurement of volume, okay, which is equivalent when they have taken, for example, rice into consideration. This is around 3 kg. So 3 kilograms of rice or dates, or corn. What is common in that country? The common food in that country, this is how, and many people now are using rice, okay? So 3 kgs of rice should be given out as Zakat al-Fitr. Now, some people say, well, you know what, I want to pay it as money. I don't have time to go and buy the food and go and search. We say, no, don't pay it as money. What you can do is that you can pay it to the charity organizations, and they will buy that food and give it to the poor on your behalf, okay? For example, here in the UAE, Dar al-Bir has given us this service where they are ready to take your money, and they will be buying that food on your behalf and giving it to the poor. Alhamdulillah, this makes your life easy. And regarding this, when should we pay? Because the time of Zakat al-Fitr is 2 days before Eid. It should be given to the poor 2 days before Eid, all the way until Eid prayer. So this is if you're going to be actually giving the food to the poor. But if you're going to be giving it to the charity organizations, you're simply just appointing them, okay, to buy these things and give it on your behalf. So that can be done way before that. From the start of Ramadan, you can do that. So you can pay it any time to the charity organization, and they will be buying that food and giving it to the poor on the specified time, 2 days before Eid, all the way until before Eid prayer. Now, some of the matters that are mentioned regarding this is that, can I appoint someone who is outside my country? It is preferred, as they mentioned, Zakat al-Fitr is Zakatu Abdan. It's where you are. You give that zakah where you are. But in these days, it might be easier, or some poor people might be in some other country. It might be easier for you to give that charity organization. We say, inshallah, as scholars have said, it is permissible, inshallah. It's better to give it by yourself, but it's going to be difficult. Who has now the time to go and buy and find that poor person? If you were able to, that's a sunnah, alhamdulillah. If you were not, you can just appoint any charity organization, like Dar al-Bir, for example. You can pay them the money. They will take your money beforehand, and they'll buy the food and they will be giving it to the poor. We mentioned the time period for Zakat al-Fitr. It is 2 days before Eid, all the way before Eid prayer. Okay, and the sunnah is to be giving it on the day of Eid, before Eid prayer, but that's difficult these days, yeah. And regarding Eid prayer, we have made a separate video regarding the rulings of Eid al-Fitr, how to pray it, when to pray it, and where to pray it, inshallah, in a separate video. Now, one of the questions regarding Zakat al-Fitr, some people might be saying, can I give out meat? Well, meat is not usually weighed in volume. Meat is not allowed. Zakat al-Fitr should be normal food, that is common in the country, as we mentioned, like barley, dates, rice. Many people are using rice these days, or corn. So these are all options. Another important thing is that Zakat al-Fitr is strictly for Muslims, yeah, for the poor people of the Muslims. It's for the poor of the Muslims. This is something very important. If you want to feed the poor, non-Muslims, that's a good deed. But for Zakat al-Fitr, it is strictly for Muslims. That is something very important to put into consideration. Some people might be living in places where they don't have access. They cannot find poor people who will be accepting that Zakat al-Fitr. Here we say it's easier for you to appoint someone back home or to appoint someone in a charity organization to do that on your behalf in the specified time. Okay. Hope this answers all the questions. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خير.